I would like to thank the chairperson and committee members for having me as a guest speaker. Thank you all. Your Black History Month title is Black Inventors Past, Present, and Future. My subtitle is In Pursuit of a Dream, a Vision. It is my belief that every inventor's idea originated out of their imagination. This led them to asking the magical question, what if? We all have asked this question at some time or other in our lives. I am confident that there was a scientist somewhere who posed these magical questions prior to man walking on the moon. I am sure Bill Gates posed this question prior to creating his billion-dollar company, Microsoft. The question, what if, lends itself to endless possibilities. Literally, there are no boundaries, no rules, and everything is up for negotiation. It is through our imagination that the process of creating begins. We all have an imagination. However, some of us are blessed with a little more than others. I can remember as a child having an overactive imagination, constantly asking questions about anything and everything, and not realizing the question really was, what if? Some of you probably have imagined winning the lottery, and if so, you unconsciously posed the question, what if? Yes, what if I won the lottery? Let's see. What will I do with the money? And then you're back to imagining what would life be like as a millionaire. Our imagination easily slips into becoming our dreams. And our dreams in life help us develop and shape our purpose and our vision in life. When we have a purpose in life, it allows us to be precise and directed. When we have a purpose in our life, we can wake up every day and know what we need to do. Purpose then gives way to vision. Webster defines vision as the ability to perceive something not actually visible. The definition of vision sounds a lot like the biblical definition of faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Vision then looks at what could or should be happening and not at what is presently happening. Vision is the ability to see the end from the beginning. Vision produces goals. Goals allow the development of a plan, and it creates priorities, dictates companions, predicts choices, and allows for an orderly journey. When you can see the end in sight, you are more likely to stick with your task and stay on the prescribed path. My invention, like the majority of invented products, came out of my imagination and a need that was not being met. The first half of my story begins with me and two other women who stepped out on faith and dared to do something different by taking a risk and going after our dream and our vision. The dream was to become financially independent by means of starting a business. What kind of business we wanted to start? We hadn't figured that out yet. We were excited and hyped about meeting and looking at the possibility of starting some type of business. There were two revelations that came out of our initial meetings. The first revelation was we didn't know what the heck we were doing. Revelation 2, we were clueless as how to get from A to B. A meaning, what kind of business? Would we sell products, write a self-help book, or start some kind of nonprofit organization and appoint ourselves as the agency managers? B, meaning we wanted to create a business that would give us a passive income. You all are probably wondering and asking, what is passive income? Well, I asked my business partner the same thing when she first shared this concept with us. Passive income means being able to receive income without having to work for it on a daily basis. An example would be a writer whose book makes the New York Times bestseller list. The author sells millions of his book. The book turns into a #1 hit movie, and the author is paid handsomely for every TV appearance and speaking engagement. He has received millions from his book, but he did not have to work on a daily basis to earn the millions. So yes, we wanted to create a company that would give us a passive income. But one thing we overlooked in pursuing a passive income was that there had to be a lot of activity and hard work before getting to passivity. Our state of cluelessness took us on a year-long journey of prayer, exploration of various businesses, ideals, and concepts. After 2 to 3 months of corporate praying and meetings, we began to get some idea as to what direction we wanted to go. Our goal of wanting to make a lot of money changed to what could we do in our communities to make a difference, or in someone else's life by having a business. As we have looked back on our journey, we realized that our vision for our company began to formulate in the very early development stages of the business. It was around this time that we were drawn to one of Oprah's shows, as my husband taped every one of her shows. The show was called The Young Millionaires. It featured 20 millionaires under the age of 40. The show aired February the 12th, 1998. My business partner and I watched the show, and this helped us in focusing on what kind of business we wanted. One thing that resonated with us from the Young Millionaires show was when Oprah made the comment, and I quote, "They were just normal folks just like you, and who had a great idea, and they went for it. You probably had the same idea, but you didn't go for it." As a result of these words, we began to look closer at ideals we had tossed aside and how we could possibly make our ideals into millions. Our business partner had an idea that was perfect for our passive income concept, and it did not take a lot of time and a lot of startup capital. But my second business partner also presented an idea at our next meeting, but we decided to go with the idea that had the least startup cost. While at work one day, I had to get away and take my lunch break and get some downtime. I met a friend at a restaurant that is usually easy to get in and out of, as we only had about 30 minutes for lunch. Needless to say, it took us over an hour to get out of this particular day. The restaurant was not crowded. There were about 6 people in the whole place, and me and my girlfriend were 2 of the 6. There were several occasions where I had to literally get out of my seat and find my waiter. And I know most of you all just hate this. I found the waiter several times in the kitchen, and by the 3rd time, I was fed up with the whole process. And I began to imagine a better way of getting hold of my wait staff. And then I asked myself those magical words, what if? The idea for the patent was beginning to take shape. I took the idea and my assumptions about wait staff back to my business partners. They got excited about the idea and being able to get wait staff when needed. But given the cost, we stayed on the course with the idea that had the least expensive startup. We looked at Oprah again and decided to call some of the people she had suggested on the show. When we called these companies, we were surprised to actually get the people that had been on her show. One of the companies that I reached called their product Making Bacon. And that you can actually get that product today in Walmart. They have grossed over $3 million. An eight-year-old girl came up with the idea. The product will allow you to cook your bacon in the microwave without being cooked in its own grease. The apparatus stands upright, and you drape the bacon over its extended arms, and there is a plate under it to catch the grease. I spoke with the father of the 8-year-old, as he was instrumental in helping his daughter to get her idea through the United States Patent Office. He gave us some great advice and referred us to the patent attorney he had worked with. We contacted the attorney and was shocked when he personally answered the phone. He gave us some general information to get us started and suggested we contact him once we were ready to submit our idea. Everything was set and ready to go. But our business partner would not release her idea. She was fearful of someone stealing the idea. We decided to call the attorney again, hoping this would ease her mind. Be mindful that 2 to 4 months had passed since our initial contact with the attorney. Upon answering the phone, he asked us if we were the same ladies who had called him 2 months ago. We said yes. He told us in a very firm but polite way, "What are you all waiting on? Don't you all know that someone else can come up with your idea and that they are granting hundreds of patents every day?" We were in shock, to say the least, but it was a wake-up call for us. It was at this point in time that we decided to submit my idea for the restaurant industry. 8 months had passed since seeing Oprah's show, The Young Millionaires Club. I immediately began to work on the initial concept of my idea. I allowed my imagination to run wild with endless possibilities. There were no boundaries to the magical question, what if? My idea was submitted to our patent attorney, which ended up not being the attorney we had previously conferenced with. Once our idea was submitted to our patent attorney, he had to do what's called a patentability search. This can take up to 2 to 4 weeks to complete. The attorney searches the United States patent database for any patents that are similar to your idea. Only a patent attorney or a patent agent can file a patent. A patent attorney or a patent agent is an attorney who has specialized qualifications necessary for representing clients and obtaining patents and acting in matters and procedures relating to patent law and practice. Both can prepare, file, prosecute patent applications for their clients before the patent office. After we submitted the patent, my business partners and I went on the journey of understanding the patent world. We went to workshops that were given around the city on anything that dealt with patents, trademarks, and copyrights. Our greatest resource was our public library, as they gave some great free workshops on patents, and some of our local patent attorneys facilitated the workshops. We also attended workshops on how to write a business plan and on marketing. We contacted SCORE, which stands for Senior Corps of Retired Executives, and they assigned us a counselor to assist us with writing our business plan. From the time of our patent application to us actually getting the patent in our hands, it took a total of 3 years. What did we do in those 3 years? We brought in another business partner. She is a lawyer by profession and has experience in the business world. My other 2 business partners also have graduate degrees in their respected fields of study. The 4th business party is the company's chief operating officer. The name of my company is called Dining You Control Incorporated. Our parent holding company is called Amari LLC. As you might already know, there are casualties along the way when building a company. We had 2 partners resign. One had us in litigation for over a year. We had another group of people who tried to steal the company and the patent. And they tried this while our eyes were wide open. The product is also called Dining You Control. It is trademarked. I am only allowed to share certain things about the product as we are currently still in development. The product is software, and it is for the restaurant industry. It will allow the customer at the table more control of their dining experience. It will allow for one-touch processing, allowing orders to transmit directly to reservations, the server, the kitchen, bar, or other designated areas. The product has various customized packages available to fit any establishment. We have a restaurant that has agreed to allow us to beta test the product. It will also become our first customer, and we are planning on beta testing by the end of March. One of my sisters, who is also one of the company's investors, always seemed to make these comments to me, and I quote, "You and your business partners have the patience of Job. I don't see how you get up every day and drive the company toward a perceived goal." What she doesn't understand is that it isn't us who are doing the driving, but it is the vision and the dream that drives us to bring it into fruition. I think Langston Hughes has been able to articulate it best as to what happens when one is not able to realize their dreams. I want to read to you his poem called Harlem. What happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun, or fester like a sore and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat, or crust and sugar over like a syrupy sweet? Maybe it just sags like a heavy load, or does it explode? Thank you.